Hello. You're listening to Ventura County Progressives United Blog Talk Radio program. Today is Saturday, May 5th, 2012. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Cinco de Mayo is often confused with Mexican Independence Day, which is actually celebrated on September 16th. Cinco de Mayo is a Mexican holiday that celebrates the Battle of Puebla. And here's a little blurb I found on the net today that gives a little history about the holiday. The Battle of Puebla took place on May 5th, 1862. In 1861, France sent a massive army to invade Mexico as they wanted to collect on some war debts. The French army was much larger, better trained, better trained, and equipped than the Mexicans struggling to defend the road to Mexico City. It rolled through Mexico until it reached Puebla, where the Mexicans made a valiant stand and against all logic won a huge victory. It was short-lived. The French army regrouped and continued, eventually taking Mexico City. But the euphoria of an unlikely victory against overwhelming odds is remembered every May 5th. And today is also the midpoint of spring, and the exact moment between the March equinox and the June solstice will occur at 10:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you haven't heard, we are going to be experiencing a supermoon tonight. It's going to be big and bright up in the sky, and I guess the Earth, Sun, and Moon are all in line right now, and at this point, the Moon is in its closest, nearest approach to the Earth. And so don't forget to take a peek outside at about 10:30 our time to watch the moonrise. I think it's really going to be spectacular. Again, thank you for listening today. And the purpose of our program is, as always, is for Ventura County progressives to gather on a weekly basis to share ideas and information. And on today's program, we're going to be sharing information about Baja California as a possible retirement location for United States citizens to consider. Our special guest today is Kanoa Biondolillo of Baja 123, Mexico Real Estate. Kanoa describes himself as the Chief Inspiration Officer of Baja 123. I love that. And he will be speaking to us from Rosarito Beach, Baja, California. Let me bring Kanoa on right now. Hello there, Kanoa.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo to you, too.
And for the listeners, where exactly, I know you're calling in from Rosarito Beach, where exactly is that city located?
We're about 20 miles south of San Diego from the border, and right now I'm actually overlooking Fox Studios. They got not Fox Studios, but it was Fox Studios down here, and it overlooks a little fishing village. And I can sometimes, if I get really tall up or high up on the mountains, I can see San Diego from where I'm at.
Oh,
so we're that close to San Diego.
Yeah, that's close. That's close. Well, better that than Sarah Palin looking out at Russia.
Exactly.
Well, I understand that you're not a native Mexican, and that you actually moved to Baja with your 91-year-old grandmother. Tell us about how you came to live in Baja.
Well, we came down. Well, we started looking in 2005, and we were looking at a few different places. We were looking at Panama, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and we decided, and we landed on Mexico. And it was funny because we're originally from LA, and we're so glad we made that choice because the transition to Rosarito Beach was a lot easier than I think it would have been if we were that much farther away. And so at the time, the economy was starting to collapse. Everything was going down. I knew what was going to happen in the U.S. I didn't realize it was going to be globally. So we were looking for alternatives, and we ended up here in Rosarito Beach. It was still booming at the time. There was a lot of construction. There was a lot of stuff going on, like it was everywhere in the world. But I think in 2008 is when it started to decline. But we ended up here with my grandmother, my fiance, my father. We're all down here at Rosarito Beach.
Oh, that's great. I think you really made a great choice. And I've mentioned to you that I really love Baja, and I enjoy any time that I'm able to spend there. I spend time in the little seaside village of Campo Lopez. Do you know where that's located?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, it's a beautiful little cove. And I'm definitely considering a retirement in Baja, and for many reasons, but probably the most important one is because I really don't feel that I'm going to be able to afford to retire here in the United States. Are you seeing other, your clients, people who are coming down, they're looking for homes, is that seem to be one of their major reasons for wanting to relocate?
You're absolutely not alone in that feeling. We get 20,000 unique visitors coming to our website every month, and the number one reason that people consider Mexico is because it's affordable, and the second reason I think is the proximity to the U.S., and then the third reason is the weather. So if you add all three of those up, it's really a good choice.
Yeah, all three of those reasons. And how many expatriates from the USA do you estimate that are living in Baja now?
I don't know exactly how many are living in Baja. I know that they're saying that somewhere between 1 to 2 million that are living in Mexico, and obviously I believe a majority of them are living in the coastal areas. We have I think it's around 15,000 last time I heard, that are living in Rosarito Beach. So there's a lot of expatriates living here, and the numbers for the visitors are even much, much higher.
So you said you would estimate probably in the Rosarito area about 15,000. And
yes.
I understand that if you're living in Baja, if you're not a visitor, I think you can get I don't know, not a visa, but like a visitor's permit that is good for 6 months. But then if you plan on actually living in Mexico, you need to apply for an SM3 visa. And I have done that myself, and it wasn't that difficult of a task. I went to the Mexican consulate here in Oxnard and filled out all the paperwork, and then ended up at the municipal in Rosarito and completed the paperwork, and then so it was a process. It took probably about, I don't know, altogether, probably took me 3 months to do it. But anyway, it wasn't, a lot of people kind of think that it's a big hassle, but I just wanted to pass on that it really wasn't that bad. And it gives me a more secure feeling and, staying down there for a more extended period of time. All right, well, in looking at the Baja 123 website, I really want to compliment you on it. I especially like the news section where it is called Mexico Living and Resources. And I think that it really gives clear answers to some of the most commonly asked questions about living, moving, and buying in Mexico. Now, from my friends, the most common question that I get is, is it safe to go to Mexico? How would you respond to that question?
That's the most common question I get from my friends, too. They can't believe I'm down here. I get phone calls like, they're going, "Are you okay? Is everything good?" I mean, it's like, it's unbelievable the perception that people have of Mexico. And when I travel to the U.S. and I tell people where I live, they look at me like I'm crazy. It's really at the point of almost ridiculous. And I like to kind of, I guess, compare it to, imagine like the first time that somebody discovered the world wasn't flat, and they had to come back and tell everybody, "Hey, guess what, everybody, the world's not flat." And the kind of reaction that people must have told him, going, "What are you, nuts? What are you, crazy? I can't believe you'd say something like that. Oh, my God, you got to be kidding to be going to the edge of the world." And that's kind of like how it feels when I go over to the U.S. and talk to people about Mexico. And the fact is the world isn't flat, and neither is Mexico. It's really beautiful down here. It's safe. And if you look on my website, there was an article from a gentleman from the Lonely Planet. His name's Robert Reed, and he came up with some really interesting statistics on how Mexico is actually safer for Americans than the U.S.
Oh, tell us about that article. I did read it, and I meant to have it in front of me here. But, yeah, tell us about what he said. Those statistics were really interesting in terms of, well, you tell.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I mean, I can pull it up. I mean, I just read the article. We just promoted it. We started promoting. what he's saying is that if you compare statistically the crime rate, the murder rate in the U.S. compared to the amount in Mexico, now this is specifically for Americans, that it's more dangerous in the U.S. So coming down, and we already know this. We live here, and I come from Los Angeles, and talk about a dangerous city, and I've grown up there. And there's just common sense. You go to certain places in L.A. during certain times, and there's other places you don't go to. And it's the same anywhere in the world, and it's the same in Mexico. And Mexico's a very large country. So to say because they're having one problem in one part of Mexico that the whole country is affected by that problem is absurd. Okay, so and obviously there's problems everywhere in the world, in every city, and there is problems in Mexico, but it's nothing that anybody should be overly concerned with if they use common sense. Now, we, like I said, I got my grandmother down here. She's 91. She was 85 or 84 when she came down here with us, and we get. There's millions of people that come to Mexico every year that travel through here that don't get killed, and I wanted to make my next blog 999,000 people did not or did not get killed in Mexico today. Instead of that one person that did. And it makes national news, which is just so frustrating sometimes because and I don't want to downplay any type of violence anywhere in the world, but comparatively, if you turn on any news station in the U.S., you're going to see people dying. And that's true about anywhere in the world, and that's just a shame. And the fact is, it does happen in Mexico, but it doesn't happen any more than it would in anywhere else. I don't know if I get kind of like passionate about this, but I get a little. I'm living down here. I see it. It's a beautiful place, and it's got a bad rap.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I've experienced the same frustration. As I mentioned to you, there's we have a little place in Campo Lopez, and I spent so much time fixing it up, and I envisioned people coming, staying for the weekend. They got it really nice, but then people would turn me down every time,
Yes.
and it was because they feared for their safety. So I think it's important that we get the word out that no, it's a wonderful, safe place to visit or consider retiring to. Another question that I get from friends when I tell them that I'm considering retiring in Baja is if you buy property in Mexico, do you really own it? How does it work?
Yeah, the way that foreigners buy property in Mexico is through what they call a fideicomiso, and it's very similar to a bank trust, similar to a trust that we would have in the U.S. when you have an executor of the trust. The trust owns the property, and then the person, then you have the person that is the executor of the trust, and they can sell that trust, they can will it. They've got control of the trust, so that's in the restricted zones throughout Mexico and the coastal areas.
Okay. All right. Let me give a call-in number. So if anybody would like to speak with you, Kanoa, they'll be able to do that.
All right.
The call-in number is 619-996-1631. 996-1631. That's area code 619. All right. Well, to give the listeners some idea of the cost of property in the area where you live, in the Rosarito Beach area. Let's say someone's looking for 2 or 3 bedroom, 2-bath house or condo that is near the ocean. What kind of cost are they looking at?
And it's a funny question. Actually, because we get the question all the time. So people, we try to set the expectations for when people come down here, because everybody wants to live on the ocean for $50,000, and that that would be wonderful, but it's really not like that. Mexico is at a discount compared to maybe La Jolla in San Diego or some of the coastal areas in San Diego, but it's not. They're not giving it away. You'd have to go to maybe some of the less populated areas to find those prices. But to get a beautiful oceanfront condo, I'm talking right on the ocean with a gym and pools and security and covered parking. You're looking right around, I would say, for one of our favorites down here, which is the La Jolla development, it's about $199,000 to come in, and that's a fair price to come in, and you'll get a really beautiful oceanfront. Really nice. These are beautiful condos. To get a house on the ocean, you're probably looking a little bit more than that. Probably I would say $300 to $350.
Well, that's still a bargain compared to what would that be here? My goodness, you're looking at a couple million.
You're going to be up in the millions to multi-millions. I think the closer you get towards La Jolla.
Yeah, and how do the property taxes there compare to, say, California?
Well, that's one of the big selling points is that because people want to come down here, and a lot of times the reason people are looking at Mexico, like I said earlier, is they want. They're on some sort of a budget. Now, whatever that budget is, they usually are, some people are coming down and they can only afford to rent, and some people can afford to buy. The overall cost of living down here is much less expensive. So in most anything that you're looking to do, so I like to kind of divert it just from the cost of the unit or the house or whatever they're going to purchase and put it into a whole package of going, you want to look at, like, what about your car insurance? What about your food and your restaurants and your nightlife and your recreation and all the things that you do in your life, and you could package that up and compare it apples to apples, you're definitely going to get a discount. Now, if you want to, the taxes vary between county to county just like they do in the U.S. So the taxes are at a fraction of the cost. And I don't want to say exactly what they are because I don't know that precisely, but they are considerably lower. And so for people that want to come down that have that fixed income and want to set some kind of plan up that they're going, this is how much we have to spend each month, they're going to be able, their dollar is going to stretch so much farther down here than it will in the U.S. at the moment.
Okay. I personally know that the food is great in Baja, especially during lobster season in Puerto Nuevo. But besides eating, what else is there to do in Baja? Or let's talk about the area.
Okay, it's funny because people come down and they all want to come down to be next to the ocean, but you can only stare at the ocean for so long.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely, there's got to be activities, there's got to be things to do, and they've got all kinds. I mean, we love the ocean. The oceans down here are the beaches are beautiful. They got long, over by the Rosarito Beach Hotel, they got long strips of ocean or beach that you can go walk along the coastline there. But there's horseback riding. There are people come down here. There's off-roaders that are coming down all the time. There's Guadalupe Valley, which is the wine country, which is just amazing. If anybody's considering coming down here, absolutely get a Guadalupe Valley tour. Go up and check out the wineries up there. They'll serve you lunch. They'll feed you cheese, olives, and let you drink wine. And it's some of the best wine. I guess they're winning competitions, some really big competitions with some of the wine that's going on over there. But then you got the obvious stuff: the fishing, the surfing, the swimming, there's down in Ensenada, there's jazz clubs, nightclubs. Really, they're tailoring for the baby boomers, and so there's going to be more and more of that stuff coming. That as more and more baby boomers come down, they're going to start providing the services that they need.
Oh, that's great. And I have been I didn't go on an actual tour. It just so happened that my brother-in-law and his girlfriend knew the Guadalupe Valley very well, and so we visited in one afternoon. I think we started out at about noon, and we went until about 6, I guess. But we visited about 4 different wineries, and they were just beautiful. And I can't remember the name of it, but it was a Russian winery. That was so much fun. Do you know what I'm talking about? It starts with a B. But anyway, I would highly recommend anybody visiting down there, check out those the wineries in that Guadalupe Valley area. And let's talk about, shopping. People might envision, for food, shopping for food. The first visits that I made down there, I was wondering where are we going to get our food, and I was envisioning, little stores in a village where there wouldn't be much selection. But my gosh, I was really surprised. I mean, there's this beautiful grocery store. I think it's called the Pelican, right as you come into Rosarito, and it is nicer than most of the grocery stores that I shop at here in the U.S. I mean, it's like on the standards of a Vaughn's Pavilion with all kinds of selection. So anyway, I know there are other stores that have come in. I think there's a big Costco in Ensenada. So if people were concerned about, where do I buy food and all that, well, it's just like here. So, okay, let me look back at some other questions for you. Yes, about crossing the border. That seems to be a big concern for people. It's not so bad, coming into Mexico, but when you come out, that line you can sometimes be in that line for 2 hours or more. That's always frustrating, but I do understand that there is construction going on at the border crossing where they're trying to add more gates. Now, I haven't been able to visit Baja in about a year, and so I haven't seen what's going on. I know you must travel back and forth. So, what does it look like now?
Well, they got it. They've been working on the construction, and they've got it down to the least amount of lanes that they've had since I've moved here. And the cool thing is though, if you have a Century Pass, you can bypass most of that traffic. And now they've got it's a different line that's called, it's for like a traveler's card. It's got like some form of a radio frequency, and you can come up and just hold it up to the machine, and then that's it's kind of like it's like a slow, medium, and fast lane now. So they've got that, and they got a fast pass that if you come down here and you stay at the Rosarito Beach Hotel, or if you go eat at some restaurants in at some of the places down here, they'll give you a fast pass, and you can use that to get back across the border too. But other than that, if you just want to travel in the lane, I recommend obviously not the rush hours, which is usually Monday morning, Friday evening, Sundays. Everyone's coming back. Try to make during the middle of the day during the week, and you'll probably catch the least amount of traffic. But there's no really way to gauge it perfectly because it all depends on how hard they're searching the cars.
Okay, well, thank you for that information.
Can I say one other thing about that, though?
Oh, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Is that what they're doing with this construction? I think they're supposed to be done in 2014. Is gonna they're in once again, don't hold me to this, but they're saying that by then, when they get the new booths up, it should be no more than a half-hour wait time. So that's not that long away. That's almost we're almost all the way through. We're halfway through 2012. So somewhere maybe a year and a half, and they'll have the whole new border at the San Ysidro area.
Oh, that is so great. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I can't wait. But no, I had no idea about the Fast Pass or the Traveler Card. So those must be a couple things that are new. And, boy, that's very useful information there.
Absolutely, and they're really easy. I think you can go right online now. They're working really hard to make the process simple. And same with you were mentioning the FM3 earlier. I believe they streamlined that process too, and you can get that, I believe, in like almost 30 days now. And if you don't want to have to go to your consulate, and you don't want to have to go do all that, there's people down here that will facilitate most of that paperwork for you, so that all you have to do is when you're ready to go in there with them, and it's a real simple process. That's what I do. I didn't have the time to go do it by myself. So there's people down here that sort of that's what they do, is they'll go in, they'll facilitate all that paperwork and the whole process, make it as simple as possible, and that's what they do, and they do it really good. And next thing you know, you'll have an FM3 and a visa.
Oh wow! Okay, that's good. More good information there. Now, people who may be considering retirement to Baja might also be concerned because Medicare doesn't cover a person if they are living outside of the USA. Is there any Mexican health care plan that foreigners can buy into?
They've got 5-star world-class hospitals in Tijuana that me and my family, we all use and we all go to. We go and they got some of the best dentists that I've ever been to in my whole life. So there's the facilities are here. Now, I know your question was about insurance specifically, but I just wanted to touch on that. It's not you're coming down here and because everyone considers Mexico can be a discount, but the quality of care in some of these facilities are amazing. So I would absolutely say, if you have any type of medical issues and you're dealing with something that is not affordable, consider looking at some of the medical facilities in Tijuana. Obviously, do your homework and look at the reviews, find somebody that's good, and but you won't believe it. I've got all my family comes down here. They get all their dentist work done, any kind of plastic surgery. They got all kinds of plastic surgeries. They've got any weight loss. They got all kinds of facilities, and they have a 5-star hospital down there. So I know that they go into more serious things, maybe like I don't want to, but more serious medical issues. But in that case, yes, if somebody's coming down here and they need insurance, there is insurance available for foreigners. Now, I don't have the exact cost on it. It's really inexpensive, and it's done, I believe, by the I want to say it's by the government that provides it, and you can buy into that. But once again, I'm not an expert on that. I actually buy an insurance through a company called Axis. I think it's Axis down here, and it's excellent insurance. It's really good, and I think it costs me about $600 a year. About $600 a year, I think, something like that.
Oh wow, that's good. I mean, a lot of people pay. Oh, well, you know what we pay. I mean, for
some pay $600 a month over there.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I think at this point we're, my husband's having something like $1,200 a month deducted for each check, each month.
Yeah, I believe it. Absolutely.
Well, so you can.
But you know what? It's so funny is I brought my 85-year-old grandmother down here, and she hasn't seen a doctor since she's left the U.S. So we brought her down here, and we took her shoebox full of medication that she had. We threw it out the window, and we said, you know what, Grandma, because she was needing home care at the time in the U.S. when we had her there, and it was really, really expensive. It was overwhelmingly expensive, and we brought her down here, and we figured if we needed to get home care for her down here, it would be a lot more affordable. But we ended up throwing all of her medication away. She got better to the point of right now she's better than she was when she was 85, and she takes care of herself, and she cooks for herself. She needs no home care, and she hasn't seen a doctor since she's been here.
Oh my gosh, that is wonderful. That's great. And speaking about people going to Mexico for maybe medical procedure that they can't afford here, there was a really good example of that in one of the videos that you have posted on Baja123.com. And it was a story about a man from California who needed hip replacement surgery. And the cost in the United States was going to be about $180,000. And he knew he couldn't afford that. So he started investigating to see what else he might be able to do, if he could go someplace else. Well, he did find a local surgeon in, I think it was Puerto Vallarta, and he had surgery done, and his total cost, including his travel expenses, all of that, and the surgery came to, are you ready, $13,000.
Yes, absolutely. And that's I hear those stories all the time. People come in, and the people that live down here, they come and tell me those stories, and and I just smile. I go, I know, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's almost like it's becoming the best kept secret right now because people are so afraid to come down here and take advantage of it.
You're right. They're afraid. They're afraid that it's not safe to go down there. But again, we've got to stress that that's just not the case. I've been there many times and just felt completely safe at all times. All right. Well, Kanoa, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the listeners who may be considering spending their retirement years in Baja?
Well, you'd mentioned our website in the Mexico Living and Resource section. I built that out to answer questions because we were taking a lot of phone calls over. Some of them were like the same questions over and over. And I built that section out just to help answer a lot of people's questions. And that was done almost over a year ago, maybe even longer. And we're going to start building out a whole new section. We're going to start putting video in. I really want to help educate the world, but mostly the United States and Canada too, on the benefits of Mexico. And so we're going to put a lot of effort in the next 6 months into getting good, correct, accurate information online for people to access so that if they have questions, what happens with their car, or what do they do with their pets, or like you said, about the shopping and all of that. So we want to be able to provide that because me being a foreigner, and I don't speak Spanish, by the way, so I came down here not speaking Spanish, which I've had no problem getting by down here the whole time. You would think I would be speaking Spanish by now, but I'm not. But I have no problem getting by down here. The people are wonderful. The culture is amazing. Like you said, the food's out of this world. So I would just encourage people to, when somebody comes and tells you that the world is flat, don't believe them. Go find out for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And Kanoa, we do have a caller. So okay, so I bring that caller on. Okay, and I believe it is my friend Ross. Hello there, Ross. Yes, hello, Ross.
Hi, how you doing?
You're on live with Kanoa from Rosarito Beach, Baja California.
Oh, yeah, that's all I was wondering, because I just tuned in about 5 minutes ago, and I actually have to leave to go to a gig, but I was wondering who you were talking to.
Well, I'm glad you called in. Did you have any questions or comments for Kanoa?
Who are we talking to? I said I just tuned in about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, Ross. Well, we were just pretty much wrapping up our conversation, but you might want to listen to the podcast of the show later. But it's been a very interesting conversation. We've, addressed a lot of questions and concerns that people who might be considering retiring to Baja, those questions and concerns we try to answer today. So I think it's been a very good and informative program. Anyway, I do encourage you to listen to the show later on. And is there anything else you would like to say?
Oh, I just didn't know who you were talking to. I mean, I tuned in about 2 minutes ago, so I'm not sure.
And we're speaking to Kanoa from Baja 123 Realty. So, anyway.
Okay.
Okay, well,
I was wondering about going down there. Right now, I have an abscessing tooth, and as you know, my friend Terry's been going down there to get dental work done. So, dental problems. So, you actually live down there?
Yeah, I've been down here for 7 years, and when you get ready to come down here and take care of that tooth, make sure you hit our website, hit the contact form or something. Just put in that you talked to me on the radio show, and let me get you a couple of the referrals of the dentists I use over here. They're really amazing.
What is your website? I just tuned in about 5 minutes ago.
No problem. It's Baja123.com. BAJA123.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much,
my name's
Ross.
Kanoa.
Okay,
a friend of mine is going down there, and he highly recommends the dental.
Absolutely. I had all the metal taken out of my teeth down here, and they replaced it all. It was just stuff that I couldn't have afforded to do in the U.S.
Nice. Okay, well, I don't want to keep you guys if you're right in the middle. I just was curious what I was talking about here. I mean, when I heard you mention medical and dental,
your ears perked.
Well, yeah. What happened was I'm out the door to go to a gig myself, but I wanted to hear, because this is an important issue for me about maybe not staying around here and kind of heading down there, which I really love it down there. I'm a friend of Karen's. I spent time at her house down there. But it just seems that things here just, it seems a little more peaceful living down there. Which is kind of ironic.
Absolutely, it's a lot slower pace. Everybody, and that's like we say is on manana time, which is so cool. I come from LA where everybody's like running, and
right.
I'm sure people from New York are even going faster. But you get down here, you got to kind of put the brakes on and relax and chill out and just kind of experience life a little bit.
I think Baja's gotten a bad rap, and it's a lot nicer than people realize or know. There's a lot of ignorance floating around out here. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks for going on the show, and
hey, good luck with that tooth.
Thank you,
Ross. And thanks for listening, and thanks for calling in. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, Ross. Okay. All right. Well, that's great that Ross will be able to contact you and maybe get a referral to, maybe a dentist. We got to get him down there and get that taken care of. So I guess the best way for people to contact you for information about, purchasing a home, even leasing or renting a home, can they contact you about that?
Yeah, in I don't know how much time we got left, but right now we are getting by the traffic of the website is a majority of renters right now, and I knew this was coming because I believe that we just have a lot of people that are either retiring with pensions, Social Security, some form of retirement plan, and they're on a fixed income, and they might not have $100,000 or $100,000 to come down and put right into a piece of property, but they do have that, that fixed income. They want to live on the ocean. They want to live the Mexico lifestyle. They want to come and have fish tacos and margaritas and listen to the mariachis and have a good time, but they don't want to have to, spend, the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so we've got a lot of people down here right now that are renting. And so they're, and one of the things I absolutely recommend is take, when you go look for a real estate agent, even if you don't use ours, is do your homework just like you would anywhere else. Look for somebody who's qualified, get referrals, get somebody that knows what they're doing. Just don't pick up the phone and take any agent. Find a good one, work with a good one that's going to take care of you. Just like anywhere, you can have horror stories and experiences with good services and bad services, so make sure you go with a quality and a professional real estate firm.
No, well, Baja 123 definitely is one. I can tell. And so again, people can get more information about relocating to Baja at baja123.com, and it is a great website, really easy to use, and lots of great information. So
thank you very much, Karen. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you bet. And I was going to remind you to look out your window this evening at about 10:30 and check out that moon.
I just heard you. I heard you say that on the announcement. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. And you having clear skies there today?
It's a little overcast today. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful. Today is just a little overcast. But, I guess I can't complain. It's probably like a chilly 68 degrees over here right now.
Oh. Well, that's pretty much what we're at here. We have clear skies today, but it's about 68 degrees. I'm speaking to you from Oxnard, California. Yeah. So check that moon out, and I'll never forget. It was probably 3 years ago, New Year's Eve, and we were at a restaurant in La Fonda that overlooked the ocean. There was this balcony,
Oh, absolutely! I'd be in there. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, my goodness! But there's this huge full moon over the ocean that night, and it just lit up the whole beach. You could see the waves breaking, and
you're almost like you're like sitting on the ocean having dinner, and it's an amazing place. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to get back down there, and as I said, I haven't been able to get away in a year, but I'm planning to be down there I'm going to try to stay there for maybe 6 weeks or so. So I'm looking forward.
Absolutely. Make sure you get a hold of me when you come down. I'd love to take you to lunch.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you so much. I thank you so much for calling in today. You gave wonderful information, and I thank you so very much. And I hope to meet you this summer. Thank you so much, Noah. You take care.
Okay. Bye now.
All right. Well, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for today. But before we do that, I would like to remind everyone that there is an important action taking place. It's going to be this Wednesday, May 9th. And people are going to be supporting the North Carolina protesters of Bank of America headquarters on May 9th. As you probably heard, thousands of people are planning to gather there to tell Bank of America to get their money out of politics, tell them to use their huge profits to rebuild the U.S. economy, and help homeowners avoid foreclosure, and also to quit investing in mountaintop removal in West Virginia, which is coal energy is just dirty energy, and the fact that Bank of America is one of the biggest funders of investing in mountaintop removal is just horrid to me. So people from all over the country are going to be supporting this shareholders meeting protest in North Carolina, and here in Oxnard we have planned one, and it will be on May 9th. We're going to be protesting at the Bank of America, which is located on the corner of Oxnard Boulevard and Gonzales Road. We plan on meeting in the Lowe's parking lot at 4 o'clock. We'll rally there for about 15 minutes, and then we will be going to stand in front of Bank of America with our signs. We have lots of signs, but you're encouraged to bring your own. We're also going to be doing some street theater, which means that one of the things that we're going to do is we did this in an event called Move Your Money, and it just so happens that May is National Move Your Money Month, and so part of our street theater is going to be filling up a big wheelbarrow with sacks that look like money sacks with big dollar signs written on them, kind of tied at the top, so it looks like a sack of money, and we're going to fill that wheelbarrow up, and we're going to keep moving it from Bank of America across the street to the credit union, which is located just directly right across the street. So we're going back and forth with that wheelbarrow. So if you plan on attending the event, if you could, maybe please bring a sack of money with you so we can put it into the wheelbarrow. Another thing that we're going to do street theater-wise is we're going to have one character dressed as a villain, thinking back to silent movie days. You remember I think it was Keystone Films. They had the woman who was constantly being tied to the railroad tracks by her evil landlord, or I think he must have been a banker or something, because he would actually get her deed and throw her out on the street with her small children and all that. So we're going to be having one person dressed as the villain. She'll be all in black with a mustache and a top hat, and then we'll have another character who is the victim, and so we'll be kind of doing that. The idea is as people drive by and maybe they can't read the signs, they get an idea of why we are there protesting. The signs are important, and people being there is important. So we've got to do this because, for one thing, these protesters in North Carolina are really, some of them are really putting themselves on the line. I know that there are some people who at this point are willing to, be arrested using civil disobedience. Many of us aren't, there yet or never will be, but you got to hand it to them for their bravery in doing that. And again, there will be thousands of people. People are, busing in to Charlotte to be a part of this protest. And I don't know if you heard or not, but the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, has announced some broad restrictions for the protest planned. And they're citing safety concerns. They've got all these restrictions. For example, let's see, this is Charlotte City Manager Kurt Wilton said that citizens would be banned from carrying a host of commonplace items, including bicycle helmets, padlocks, permanent markers, mace, pepper spray, and pipe. And it says that the rule also bans any animals that are not part of an official parade or working as service animals. They can't be there during the protest. And let's see, since violation of the ban within a designated protest area would be considered grounds for arrest, local citizens could be jailed for simply walking their dogs on May 9th. And anyone carrying a backpack or briefcase with the intent to hide any prohibited items can also be searched or arrested, as can anyone wearing a scarf or a mask with the intent to hide her identity. So it looks like, city of Charlotte is definitely, ready for the protesters, and some people may feel that, this may be something that is really unconstitutional. So I know that the American Civil Liberties Union is looking at it, but anyway, they're going to be sick of things, and we can't be there. But the one thing we can do is to be part of a local action that supports theirs. So tell your friends, tell your family, try to be there. And if you want to find out more about the action, you can go to the 99 Spring Action. 99spring.com/action. You can also go to moveon.org. They are one of the coalition partners in this National Day of Protest on the 9th. And you can go to moveon.org and then you go down to the bottom of the page, go all the way down, and look to your left at the bottom. You type in your zip code, and then it'll bring you up to a page where you click campaigns, and you will find out all about the event that we're having in Oxnard. All right, well, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll look forward to talking again next Saturday, same time, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 to 5 in the afternoon. And until then, I hope you have a great rest of Cinco de Mayo Day, and I hope that you get out there and enjoy that full moon this evening. I understand that there are also going to be meteor showers, so kind of a magical day, I think. All right, well, until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.